what's up? Hello, everybody. He's Carson Field. I must say you're looking sharp as ever today, sir. And I'm Ethan Schmidt, and we have another edition of Devils in Detail on tap.
Lots of stuff coming at you. We'll talk about the Sun Devils on the diamond and some of the other standouts from the ASU sports realm. We are now 2 months out from the 2019 NBA draft, and Luguentz Dort has officially declared to play professionally. Dort is widely regarded by most sites as a first-round prospect. Sports Illustrated has him going number 27 to the Nets, and USA Today has him at 29. It's all guessing at this point, but whoever lands Dort gets an interesting prospect. His strengths, physicality, and defense. Throughout the year, both of these were on full display as he, at times, looked like a man amongst boys. In his lone season in Tempe, Dort averaged 16.1 points and 4.3 rebounds per game, much of which is a testament to his 6'4", 215-pound frame. When Lou played, the Devils played with increased energy, but there were some drawbacks. His percentage around the rim was shockingly low, and he had some issues scoring through contact. For him to make an impact at the next level, he needs to improve in this area. And other times, in desperate situations, Dort felt the urge to play quote-unquote hero ball. This often led to careless turnovers and missed layups. In the NBA, regardless of which team picks him, he won't be the superstar. Dort will need to learn from the veteran players and adapt to a new level of basketball. All negatives aside, Dort displayed a lot of upside in his lone season in the Valley. From what we've seen, he could eventually be a stud in the association. Now on the diamond, I am joined by Nick Aguilera for some insight on ASU baseball. And Nick, the Sun Devils have struggled as of late, dropping 6 of their last 9. What's been going wrong for the team?
You know, as of right now, there's a lot going wrong. The offense has actually held their own, but for the most part, it's the pitching. Over the last 9 games, they gave up 65 runs, which is pretty much 7.22 runs per game. So that's not what you want. Their bullpen has really kind of struggled here as of late. Only 4 pitchers on their staff have ERAs under 4.30, and 2 of them are Alec Marsh and RJ Davovich, who is now on the disabled list, if you want to call it that. And another reason why they have pretty much struggled is because Tracy Smith keeps trying to get Blake Brazel some work, but it just hasn't been working out for him. He has a 7.56 ERA so far in the season, and over his last 3 1/3 innings pitched in April, he's given up 6 earned runs. So everything pretty much in the bullpen has been giving them problems as of late.
Now the Sun Devils head to the Rockies for a 3-game set against Utah. What do the Sun Devils have to do to get back on track this weekend and for the rest of the season?
You know, I think for the long term, the real solution is to shore up that bullpen. They need some guys to step up. They need guys like Blake Corrigan to correct their struggles. They have a 480 ERA over the course of conference play and a 1.63 whip. So they really need to shore up. They're sitting around 4.0 for the season. And another thing they have to shore up is the catching situation. Sam Ferry and Lynn have been struggling as of late. Ferry, who usually does a starting, he's hitting 227, 341 slugging percentage, and Lynn hasn't been much better, 246 batting average, 311 slugging, and they both have 5 errors combined on the year. So they really need to shore up that defense behind the plate, and really both of them have to really get the bats going.
All in all, it's still been a really successful year for ASU. Who has been the biggest surprise on the team this season?
You know, most people want to say it's Hunter Bishop, but he's always had the tools. They've always been there. Most people want to say it's probably Alec Marsh, but he's been the best pitcher on their staff when he's healthy, even last year. For me, it's Eric Tolman. He's really come out as a two-way player and really impressed both on the mound and at the plate. Over the course of the season, he has a 1.11 ERA and a 1.25 whip, 31 strikeouts and 32 and a third innings. So he's really getting it done on the mound. At the plate, he's only had 16 plate appearances, but in those 16 at-bats, he's hit .431 with a 1.346 OPS. He had 2 home runs on Tuesday against Seattle U, so he's really finding his stride there. He has a couple things to work on the mound. He has 24 walks on the season, and he has not drawn a walk yet at the plate. He has 1.74 whip in conference and 15 to 14 walk to strikeout ratio in conference. So he really has to keep people off the bases, and he really has to get some more walks at the plate.
As the season comes to an end, all eyes will be on ASU baseball. Great job, Nick.
Thanks for having me.
Do you believe in second chances, maybe even 3? Well, former Arizona State wide receiver Rashad Ross will begin his 9th try at the NFL this offseason. the Carolina Panthers have signed Ross to a one-year deal after he led the now folded Alliance of American Football with 7 touchdown catches. Ross transferred to ASU in 2011 and used his profound speed as a kick returner. The Vallejo, California native impressed at ASU's Pro Day in 2013 with a 4.34 40-yard dash time, but went undrafted. After bouncing around on practice squads and missing cuts for several years, Ross is now more motivated than ever in what he believes is his last chance at the NFL, according to David Newton of ESPN. Ross's father, Zach, recently lost his battle to stage 4 liver cancer at the age of 59 on Monday. Rashad, we give you our deepest condolences, and I'm sure that Sun Devil Nation is 100% behind you to make your NFL dreams a reality in September.
As the semester wraps up, we thought it would be appropriate to have an NFL draft-centered show next week to close out the term. With N'Keal Harry and Rennell Wren both projected to be taken in the first 2 days, the 2019 draft will certainly be one to watch for Sun Devil fans. Even if you can't make the trek to Nashville, I can assure you our coverage will give you all the insight ahead of draft night.
ASU softball has been on a downward spiral as of late. The ladies were swept for the 3rd straight weekend. We now bring in ASU softball insider Adam Noel to figure out what's going on. How are you, Adam?
Doing great, Ethan. Thank you so much for bringing me on today.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you, but jumping right into things, the Sun Devils lost all 3 of this past weekend's games against the number 4 ranked Huskies. What were some of your takeaways from yet another tough weekend for the Sun Devils?
Well, the biggest takeaway had to be the fact that ASU was able to compete with number 4 Washington, a really tough team just overall. And coming off a weekend where they faced the top team in the nation, UCLA, in the previous week, it's been a really tough stretch for ASU softball. They've lost 9 in a row. As you mentioned, 3 straight series dropped. But they were able to get on the board in game 1. They lost 8-4, which in retrospect isn't too bad, especially with how talented Washington is in general. And by the series finale, they did drop it 6-0, another shutout. But against a good team like Washington, the bats at times do end up getting cold.
Well, the Sun Devils able to generate a little bit of offense, but Adam, what has been the Achilles heel for this team throughout this big slump?
Well, it has to be that pitching staff. I know from last season, G. Juarez, their star pitcher, left to transfer to Oklahoma, and now that big gap on the team, it's been struggled to find that person to fill that role. And I think Samantha Mejia has done an outstanding job this season, but at the same time, a projected number 2 starter, Cielo Meza, has struggled. She is out of the rotation as of now. She's coming out of the bullpen, and she does carry a team-high 6.5 ERA and in 20 games this season. So it's been a bumpy stretch for ASU, to say the least, in that bullpen, in the rotation.
Definitely. And now looking towards the weekend and a series with the Stanford Cardinal, how can ASU get back in the win column some way, somehow, Adam?
Well, Stanford's a tough team, but they're a very beatable team, I think. They currently sit at 3rd in the Pac-12, just a spot ahead of ASU. But in terms of who the ASU has played in these past 3 weeks, they're definitely going to be the team that they could pull out 2 or possibly a sweep against. And coming out of that Stanford series, it's going to be important to gain some momentum because they go on to face Cal, then Oregon, the 2 worst teams in the Pac-12. So getting a nice little win streak before the conference tournament is going to be huge, and that would be a really good starting point to get back on track after that losing streak.
Very true. Great insight as always, Adam. You're a pro at this, man. Well, great talking to you. And everyone, be sure to check out Adam's work and the rest of the softball coverage at devilsindetail.com.
It wasn't quite Masters Sunday, but this weekend was outstanding for Sun Devil Golf and Chun On You in specific. The team won the Thunderbird Collegiate Classic at Papago Golf Course, its 3rd win in a row. On You shot 12 under on the weekend with a 66, 67, and 68. The win shot ASU up to number 2 in the nation. The team now sets its focus to the Pac-12 Championship from April 22nd to April 24th in Eugene, Oregon. One more show left of the semester. It's been a pleasure anchoring for another term, but it's not over yet. Next week will be a must-watch.
Hey, you're the man, Carson. And thanks to Nick and Adam for coming on today. And as always, you can get the latest on everything in Arizona State athletics at devilsindetail.com. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at devils_detail. Thanks for watching.